Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. I'm really excited to be joined by Achal. You probably might, well, everyone watching the channel should recognize Achal because Achal is a subscriber of the channel. So I'm really, it's a massive pleasure to have him on, and he's going to be discussing, a wide range of topics. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem at all.
And likes, share, subscribe, do everything. Follow it. I'm a big fan. So yeah.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate it. Yes, exactly. As Achal said, do please like and comment on the video and subscribe, and also, let us know what you think of Achal as well.
Yeah.
Being on, it's his first time being on, so I'm sure it's going to be good to have
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. Exactly. So first of all, Achal, you said to me, you live in Ahmedabad and you've gone to some of the matches, etc. But after talking, and some of the listeners will know as well, or watchers will know, or viewers even, that obviously you played a little bit when you were younger, for some of the domestic teams, etc. So before we kind of get into that, I wanted to ask you about the domestic setup in India. So would you be able to give me a quick, well, not even quick, it can be a long one, just a nice kind of explanation of how the domestic setup is like in India?
So see, the domestic setup in India is firstly age group level till under 19. It's more preferred that you have age group cricket. Now I played under 14, under 16, under 19 for my district and the state team, right? So do most of the people who go on to represent the country, right? So now, for example, you are a 13-year-old who's just coming into cricket, right? So you enroll somewhere, and you normally have, like, for selection processes, you have proper cricket schools and stuff, right? So you enroll with them, and you don't even need to be part of their school, right, to just play for them, right? So with the schooling system comes the next crop of under 14s and the 16s, right? Then you have the selection process for your district and the state level teams. Perform well for your district, you get promoted to the state team, right? So there are 28, I think 28, 30 state teams in the country. So you have 1,000 something players who are representing each segment of the age group, right? And so that's pretty much it. So you have so till under 14s and under 16s, you have 2 day, 3 day cricket, and 50 over cricket, which is, I think it's 40 overs for till under 16, which then becomes 4 day cricket in under 19s, under 23s, and 50 over cricket. So with under 19s, they've actually started this thing, a T20 tournament, right, just to promote the um, you know till before, BCCI didn't allow you any sort of T20 setup till your proper Ranji Trophy, and till you represent something, right? But now they are actually giving you, if you are, say, 17-year-old or something, and you're not good enough for, or you know your game, and you just know that my game does not suit 50 over or test cricket. I can directly go play under 19. That's how Jasprit Bumrah came. Jasprit Bumrah played for district in under 19 T20 level cricket, and got picked up by Mumbai Indians, and then he ended up representing his state for the Ranji Trophy and everything, and that's how his journey went. So every now, it's a good thing because it opens different avenues for cricketers. It wasn't there when I used to play, but now it's more mature. The system is more developed in a way. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gathering is, so here in the UK we have the county championship, which is the longer format. So that's the
Hmm.
Ranji Trophy, right? That's the same as the Ranji Trophy in India.
Yeah.
And here we've got the One Day Cup. I think that's is that the Syed Ali Mushtaq Trophy in India? Is
No,
that the
I think
same?
it's the Vinu Mankad Trophy. the
Okay.
50 over. Yeah,
And what's the side Ali Mushtaq Trophy then?
it's a T20 tournament.
It's a T20. Of course, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's your national T20 tournament.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And then obviously you've got the IPL. So
yeah,
Bumrah, was he playing for you? So you said that he played for county T20
yeah.
stuff first. So what was he? What
Limited
tournament?
overs and
Okay.
yeah,
Where was that though? Do you know?
Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the funny thing is that I have played in the same ground. He must be practicing for like 150 times, right? But you never know before someone becomes a
Hmm.
star, right? So yeah, it's a bit funny, but I never knew who Jasprit Bumrah is till in retrospect. Now I know,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
No, that's funny. Yeah, that is funny. It's interesting because yeah, when you grow up, you don't think about it, do you? You just get on
yeah,
with your business, and then you don't know, and then next thing you know, you're watching the TV, and you're like, hold on, I recognize him, and you're probably
yeah,
thinking that as well. So that's interesting. So okay, the setup's quite interesting. And would you say that? So I guess it's actually quite similar to. I guess it's similar to Pakistan in the sense that you guys have got a domestic T20 tournament, which is a Syed Ali
hmm,
Mushtaq Trophy, and then you've also
hmm,
got the IPL as
hmm,
well.
hmm,
So, have you seen quite a few people? So you said that I guess people haven't gone through the orthodox way of going through
yeah,
Ranji Ali Trophy, the one-day
yeah,
tournament, and a Syed Ali Mushtaq Trophy, etc. Sometimes it's a case of actually they will play at a younger level for your counties, and then you might get picked up by an IPL team because they
yeah,
look at you and they think,
yeah.
oh, it's quite
Ishan
unorthodox.
Kishan, Ishan Kishan is the best example of it,
Yeah.
right? So he's a purely a T20 player.
Mm,
And yeah, sure, you must have now represented his state side for everything, but
yeah.
he started off only as a T20 player, got picked up because of his huge talent. He hits sixes like no one else, even
Mm.
better than Pant. So he's a very excited, yeah, yeah, he's a very exciting talent, right? So even the mystery spinner that India has now, I I don't I don't recall his name, but the new guy
Oh,
who,
oh, it's
yeah, yeah,
hold on. I
Chakravarti,
know. Yes, that's it.
yeah, Varun
Chakravarti. Yeah.
Chakravarti. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he also comes from a similar sort of a thing, right?
Mm,
He would have never played like a 4 day or 5 day test match
mm.
for his state side, but yeah, nothing wrong in it. If someone knows their game, nothing
Mm.
wrong in just you know just prioritizing what you're good at.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think nowadays, especially if you think, a few years back when you played, everyone would just say your test side is very similar to your ODI side, and then
Yeah,
when T20 started, it would also be similar to your T20 side. But now, some countries almost have completely
yeah,
different
yeah,
teams for your
yeah,
T20s, even for your ODIs and for your test
yeah.
matches. So, that's crazy. I mean, some teams will have. If you take an example as the opening batsman, you will have different opening batsmen for your test matches, different for ODIs,
Yeah,
different for T20s, which is crazy to think about.
yeah,
Because back in the, I know, we're talking maybe 20 years
yeah.
ago, you wouldn't have that. And I think
You wouldn't have even thought of it.
no, you wouldn't. And I think what's
And
happened
the
is
thing
that
is that
each
there is
format's
a
so specialized,
stigma.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, go
yeah.
on. What were you
Sorry.
saying?
So there is a stigma which used to be attached to those people who would simply play limited over cricket. Like
Yes.
you are somewhere inferior to the other people, right?
Mm.
But it wasn't that. I mean, it's. I would love to. I mean, if you ask me personally, everyone should play Test cricket. But
Yes.
then,
Yeah.
come on, it's their choice. And if they
Mm.
are amazing at it, why should Andrew Russell play a test match, right? If he can do what he does in T20,
Mm.
rather be a beast in the format, go down as probably the best player in that format,
Mm.
rather than using your energy, using your skill to you know just just spreading it out there.
Yeah. Although I think Andre Russell will be really good in Test cricket. I think he's got the ability. But the issue is that he has. I feel there's some players. I think he's one of them. who has become
yeah,
very good in T20s, but I feel like he's limited his game to T20s on purpose to concentrate on it. But I get what you're saying in the sense that some players, their natural game is to either
yeah,
play T20s. It's become very specialized. You have
yeah,
people that are specialists in one format and they might
yeah,
not necessarily perform very well in others. And that's just the way it is, right? So,
yeah.
as a very good example is Dawud Malan. So, Dawud Malan for
Exactly.
England,
Yeah.
right? So, he played some test matches. He's played, I
Hmm.
think, only one ODI, I think, but he's played a few test matches.
Hmm.
Didn't necessarily perform too well in there. He's playing for Middlesex here. I've watched him. He's actually
Hmm.
quite a good longer format player, or
Hmm.
test or county player, but not quite good enough internationally. But in
Yeah.
T20s, he is,
Yeah.
and he's
He
become
is
very good.
amazing. Yeah.
So I think that's quite a good example of someone who actually has started to specialize in just one uh, kind of one more discipline or one kind of special format, I would say. And there's not too many like that, but we're getting more and more, I think, in the game.
Yeah.
Like Chris Jordan as well for England, he now only plays T20. So that's just how it is. And I'm sure India have the same. So it's just one like Shreyas Iyer, I think, has played some ODIs, but again, he started, didn't he, as a T20
Actually,
player?
that isn't the case in India yet.
Yeah. It's not, is it? Yeah.
No,
'Cause I'm
no,
looking at
no,
the
no.
team, and I
So
think most of them, if they play T20s, they also play ODIs as well, at least, don't
yeah,
they?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Surya Kumar Yadav, for example, or except for Ishan Kishan and
Mm,
the other, the spinner,
mm,
Chakravarti, I don't think there is anyone who's like probably exclusively for T20s
yeah.
or something, right? I mean, because we still stigmatize. That's the truth, right? We
Mm,
and at the same time we had like a great result in Rishabh Pant, right? If someone would have looked at Rishabh Pant, there was no chance anyone was gonna say this guy is gonna be playing and scoring centuries for India, right? Forget on a like day 5 wicket in Australia, right? But he's winning games, and that's what's important. So I don't know, like see, change is good, but then at the same time, limiting what your potential is, it's kind of just bad for yourself, right? Because
yeah.
Rishabh Pant is my perfect example, right? People would have written him off if it was just uh, just Test cricket or even one days, right? Why are you playing him? But now people just realize that okay, this guy is an X factor, and he just has to figure his own game out. So if you look at him now, he takes like 40, 50 balls first to settle in, understand the pace of the wicket, and then just chooses the ball and goes berserk. It isn't like there is a method to the madness. It isn't
Yeah, I
like
agree.
yeah,
I agree. I think it's funny because he was seen, as you said, as just a white ball player, wasn't he? Especially in the
yeah,
T20s. And actually, he didn't perform as well as they had hoped initially. But I think what happened is, and what has happened is, he was dropped from the white ball side. Obviously, he's now coming to the test side.
yeah,
And it was a bit of a punt almost. It was a bit of a, they rolled the dice a little bit. It was a bit of a gamble, but it paid off
yeah,
because what's happened is maybe it's what he needed because in Test
yeah,
cricket, you need that extra bit of discipline. And I think he's
yeah,
matured, is what's happened. And he still has that aggressive edge to his game. But what's
yep,
happened is he has made sure that, okay, yeah, I've got that aggressive edge, but I need to be a bit more calculated with how I play because my wicket
yeah.
has a lot more value in Test cricket. And he's realised, and I
So
think what will happen is now he's going to start playing white ball cricket again for India, and he'll be a lot
hmm,
better. I think is what's going to happen.
absolutely,
That's a really good example of someone who has
Jasprit
actually
Bumrah,
done it the other way around, hasn't he?
yeah, even Jasprit Bumrah, he
Mm,
was seen as a T20 specialist, right? So the first time he was played for India in a test match, people were like, okay, it's a completely different ball game. But then this guy has the skills, right? So you don't anymore see Jasprit Bumrah bowling a lot of Yorkers, right? Not even 5% of his deliveries. First, he just used to bowl Yorkers, and that's all his game was. Now he's swinging it both ways. He's bowling the slower ball, and he's doing everything. So yeah,
It's about
It's a
learning, isn't it? It's about learning and
yeah,
adapting, I think. And these players
yeah,
are very young, so they've got time to get through it. So that's really good to see as well. And I think it's interesting. What would you say in terms of as an Indian fan, you've seen it, and I know you follow it as well. Um, I don't really follow it for my own kind of reasons,
yeah,
but I know that there's a massive fever around franchise cricket and IPL, especially, right? Because that is seen as, I think, because that gets, if you look at in terms of international players, it attracts the biggest
mm,
international players for sure. And so I
yeah,
think if you look at the level of players, it definitely attracts the biggest. I think this year
mm,
is even more important because obviously the T20 World Cup's coming up in India. So I
yeah,
think there's more of a bearing on, if you perform well in the IPL, then you
mm,
will potentially then play for your country because it's very similar conditions in terms of, your pitches, your weather, etc. So I think that will help. But from, I guess, as a fan watching it through, I mean, I think we both can agree that Test cricket is the pinnacle, but from what it sounds like of the sport. But I think you're right. We have to still take it on board that these other formats are still very important. Obviously, I think ODIs is
yeah,
always seen as important with the World Cup, but the T20 is important as well now, I think, and it's definitely revolutionized the game to some degree. So the IPL,
yeah,
what type of effect do you think it's had in India, especially? What do you think? Has
yeah.
it maybe broken some of the stigma that was there before?
Yes, but I think the role of IPL, you have to start from the very beginning then, right? So Indian cricket wasn't financially that strong ever, right? So 91 India liberalizes, and then you have in 93 till that time, it was we had the state broadcaster, which was Doordarshan, and BCCI used to pay 5 lakh rupees every game for them to broadcast a game, right? So as an expense, and then ESPN comes and in 93, and then you have IPL. India actually T20 cricket was rejected when it was introduced
Yeah,
in
because
in
they
the
had the ICL, didn't they? As IC,
yeah
was it?
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Indian Cricket
actually
League.
went to yeah. I actually went to one of the games. Ahmedabad had a franchise that time, and yeah, it was funny. It was the first time we actually saw you know T20 cricket that way. It was more of the masala sort of a thing, right? You had Bollywood and you had a lot of noise and everything. But yeah, so coming back to your point, T20 cricket and IPL especially, what it has done is that one is that the it has opened the boundaries of Indian cricket. For example, first you could have what um, a talent pool of 1,000 people. Now you have a talent pool of probably 5,000 people because a lot of people just aspire to be playing for the IPL. There's a lot of money too, and with money they can even redistribute it, right? So, and that has happened. So, if you look at the central contracts for even uh, test matches, it's gone up high every year. It's only because you have a cash cow in IPL with the BCCI, right? So it's the core socialism thing, right? You earn from one and then redistribute to another. But I I I kind of find I kind of believe that Test cricket can be profitable. I mean, it's not like it has to. I actually told you right on one of your chat that we give it that grandpa sort of a vibe, the feeling to it. Like we just have to take care of it. No, actually, look at the amount of views that and the revenues that India's tour of Australia would have generated, right? So it's complete. It's not even close to that. You have to make it more appealing to people. You have to make it more accessible to people, and the best thing they can do is that don't keep games in Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Bangalore. Go to tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, which are deprived of cricket, right? So a lot of people might not turn up in my city or in Mumbai or Delhi, but because just because of the, because they already see a lot of IPL, they already get a lot of international white ball cricket, and so it kind of doesn't make sense for them. But you can go to, for example, they were thinking and about playing a lot of games in Lucknow, right? A huge city in Uttar Pradesh, right? But and if you play test matches there, Kanpur, Lucknow, even um, in South, a lot of cities, you will get the turnout, you will get the this thing. So I don't see a problem. Yeah,
Hmm,
sorry
that's
if I
interesting.
should.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's interesting actually. So, do you think maybe at the moment, so with the IPL, they're looking to expand it? So, I think we discussed this, and I think unfortunately, in cricket, money talks most of the time. I think, in
yeah,
terms of where the money is where it will be shown. So, but do you think that I think there is definitely the potential. I think we've already seen with some of the players in India, some of the players potentially from poorer backgrounds have got a chance in the IPL because they've been
yeah.
scouted. So, do you think that certain teams in regions of India that maybe are slightly poorer, or sorry, if they start, if they start teams in those so-called poorer areas, that will it will help the infrastructure of cricket in India, but not just in India, but the
Yeah,
cricket infrastructure, but the infrastructure in general. And secondly,
absolutely.
as well, then
Yeah.
you'll actually, of course, we know how big cricket is in India at the moment.
Hmm.
I mean, I think we can safely say there's more fans in India than anywhere else in the world who love
Yeah.
cricket. But I feel like because India is so big, there's still a population that can still be tapped into, if that makes sense. Which sounds
Yeah.
crazy to say, but I think there is.
No, I think we just have tapped into the 5% of the cricketing population, or the 5% of the talent crop that is in the country. It's just a tip of the iceberg. And once, see, what has happened right now is that cricket is going tier one, tier two city, right? And now you're looking at a lot of players coming from places you would never have heard before, right? So uh, there's a place called Salim in Kerala, and that's where Natarajan comes from, right? So we historically wouldn't associate a lot of, even Akshar Patel, right? So he comes from a, a place called Nadiyad in Gujarat, and it's a small town. It's like very small, and but since the entire infrastructure and you know the the structure has evolved, and it has expanded itself, you are looking at people coming from different places now. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting. It's good. It's good to see, isn't it? You want people from different areas, people given
Hmm.
different experiences, and I think that you can see that. And I think I've said this, and it's interesting because I think here in the UK we have something where a lot of the England cricketers they come from privileged backgrounds.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like in India, but I think there's probably maybe I feel like it's to a lesser degree in India, but you would be able to tell me better. But I feel
Not
like
at all.
not at all. You think it's the same?
No, it's the exact opposite.
Okay.
India, look at the Indian team today, right?
Hmm.
So except for Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma,
Yeah.
right? I don't you wouldn't associate anyone who comes from a very privileged background.
Ashwin,
Oh,
maybe?
yeah, Ashwin.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the new talent is not coming from the cities. It's
Hmm.
actually coming from the towns and the
And that's come
villages.
from IPL, has it? Do you think that's because of the IPL?
Maybe. So I think the reason for what has happened in English cricket is because you took, who can pay for cricket, right? You are not airing the matches free.
Yeah. Also,
So now,
it's not the biggest sport in the UK. So in
yeah,
India, cricket is the number one sport. Here we have football. Then you've
rugby,
probably got potentially
yeah,
there's rugby and boxing as well. And then
yeah.
cricket is somewhere there. It's kind of floating between second and third, maybe.
Hmm.
But in India, obviously, it's the number one. So everyone pretty much wants to play it. I think is a
Plus,
difference.
cricket is a expensive sport. I mean, you just need a ball and you can start playing football, right? But it's not exactly, your very easy sport to get into cricket. And
Yeah,
but then I think ECB is doing a lot for grassroots level cricket. I have my cousins in UK and they are playing cricket here there. So it's good. They
nice.
like it's coming to them from mm, like late kindergarten or the starting. Yeah. So and the best part of it is that a lot of England players are like interacting with them,
Mm,
getting involved in promoting the game to you know to more people. And
exactly. Yeah.
even even the new tournament 100 might be that thing that might turn it around. Let's see how
Maybe.
it goes, but
Yeah, yeah, let's
yeah.
see. I'm not so sold on it yet, but we'll see. I think it might be, as you said, that might be a tournament where you start getting a lot more excitement, even more excitement into it. The World Cup definitely helped with the win, but I
Hmm.
think it needs to continue. The issue is that the India series was free to air, but obviously England lost very badly, so that doesn't really help. Unfortunately, that's just the truth of it. But yeah, um,
Yeah,
just then to go on to your personal experiences then. So
yeah,
we discussed this a little bit. So obviously, as you said, Bumrah, you kind of played in the same area as him as well, and
yeah,
played against him. Akshar Patel as well, and others. Do you want to touch upon some of the
yeah.
players who people might be familiar with?
So, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, you have these two, and then you have a very young, talented player called Priyank Panchal, who's coming up, who's actually in the reserve squad who was in the reserve squad for this thing, the Test series, right? But he's a phenomenal talent. He's breaking all the records for domestic, um, you know, cricket, 50 over Test cricket, anything. Yeah. So
Yeah, see,
uh,
I've got the figures here because you sent them to me actually. So
oh,
I've got
that's
that's
Padikkal.
okay.
That's Devdutt Padikkal. So he's just 19-year-old, and no one knows him till he makes his. So he's famous in the Karnataka circle
Yeah.
of cricket, and then he was picked up by RCB, and Virat kind of promoted him to um, in place of Joshua Philippe, right? So to open the innings for RCB, and then he's just been wonderful because I think he scored like at least 4, 5 50s in this IPL,
Mm,
and now he's in right now the 50 over tournament is going on, so
mm,
he's already scored 4 consecutive centuries.
mm.
Yeah,
Very, yeah,
so
yeah, it's crazy. Yes, I've got here. He scored in this in the VJ Hazard Trophy. He's already scored
hmm,
52, 97, 152,
hmm,
126 not out, 145 not out, and
hmm.
101 not out. So that's ridiculous run of scores. I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah,
unbelievable. And
yeah,
yeah, thank you for that. That was good. So potentially, so the highest consecutive centuries in List A cricket is five. He's on four.
he's in
So
four. Yeah,
yeah, it could be. We'll see. We'll
and
see.
his
He's on.
team made it to the semifinals. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, wow. So your
Yeah,
experiences, though. So do you want to maybe go into a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
about who you
So
played against and again and with even as well that people might know and give us a little bit of insight into what
yeah.
they were like then and the difference that you can see now.
Um, so Akshay used to be very famous even that time. So um, he's like what, 3 years, 4 years elder to me, I guess. Yeah, he must be like 28 something, right? So Akshay was he was getting a lot of wickets in the domestic setup. I've actually played with him, I guess, once or twice in. I told you, right? So we have a tournament called Majors where it's the it's a sort of a corporate league that you know, the private sectors, they every company has a different team, right? And players normally play there, right? So Patel, Akshar, even Priyank Panchal, I guess, right? So these are the players you would know because they come from the same place, right? So Ahmedabad recently has been giving so many young, even great youngsters in the under 19 levels. For example, you have Haith, who's 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 the who was the India wicket keeper in the under 19s World Cup, and yeah. So I mean, I can say I must have played with at least Bumrah, right? Because I wouldn't remember it
Mm,
perfectly well, right? Because he wasn't famous then, but
yeah.
then he would have played for. He belonged to a school called Nirman, and
Mm,
I used to go practice there a lot of times.
mm,
There's the same ground, and yeah, but so that's the thing, right? No one knows when someone's gonna be really famous, right? So
mm,
uh, I have well, I have bowled in the nets to almost every other team which comes and uh, tours to India, Gujarat, Ahmedabad in particular, right? So I I I remember that there was some player in Sri Lanka. I had given a knockdown to, right, for like 30-40 minutes, right? And he ends up actually scoring a triple hundred or double hundred something in
wow.
Ahmedabad. Yeah, yeah. I kind of wanted to
Wow.
meet him after that, right? You have someone to thank, buddy. Yeah, but yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah,
So Akshay, you said you played a couple of games with him. Did
yeah,
he? Was at the moment he seems like someone who knows exactly what his game is like. You know, he puts a
yeah,
lot of revs on the ball, pretty quick through the air. Was he very similar back then?
100%. He
Yeah.
was absolutely the way he is today, right?
Mm,
So look, the USP of Akshar is that he bowls quick. He bowls to that that perfect area. It's a little bit fuller than good length, and it's a little bit shorter than full, right? So that perfect area where you're not sure, right, whether as a batsman, should I come ahead or should I play it on a back foot, right? And then he goes in like really pacey, so you don't have a lot of time to react on. And the thing about Indian pitches is that they do the rest, right? Some turn, some just stay straight, right? And look, even if all the players might say that they know 100% that which one's gonna turn, it's not never that, right? Some it's like you can have the same release with the ball, and it might both the balls might do completely different things, and that's how I think England feared that a lot
mm,
this test series. They
mm,
weren't able to adapt to that thing because, yeah, as Virat Kohli said, most of the guys who got out were
mm,
through the straight ball. So you normally don't play for the turn, you play for the straight ball. And if it's
mm,
gonna turn, it's anyways most of the times it's gonna miss the stump side, miss the edge.
mm.
So I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
where
true.
England went a bit wrong with their tactics.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting. It's interesting that you said about Akshar, and obviously it's amazing
yeah,
you play with that. You know, you kind of play with
hmm,
Bumrah as well and other players.
hmm,
That's really amazing actually. So it's cool that you can
hmm.
look at it and say, you know, I have. So I've got it here because
Yeah,
I mean, you play for Gujarat under 16s, Ahmedabad under 16s, and the under
yeah,
19s, and you play some
yeah.
interstate level cricket as well, which is cool.
Hmm.
So no, that's really good. And actually, as I said, we'll get I'll get a video. I think you sent one. I'll put it in the at the end of the
Yeah,
video as well, so people can have a look at
that'd be great. Yeah,
your lefty action as well, which is cool.
yeah.
Um, I'll be watching that as well. Cool. Um, thank you very much, Achal, for being on. I really appreciate it. It
Thanks
was
a lot.
really good fun, as you
Thanks a
said.
lot for
And
having me.
sorry.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all.
Yeah.
anytime,
And
and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day as well. And yeah, we'll talk anyway. We'll talk
I'm
anyway
gonna
on the live
go to
stream.
sleep. It's like 12:30 here.
Oh, is it? Well,
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
go and have some good sleep and enjoy the
yeah,
rest of the day when you
yeah.
wake up.
All right, I will. You
Have
too.
a good one.
Have a good one.